Today we are talking about a film that stars Ernest Borgnine, William Shatner, Tom Skerritt, and John Travolta. This is the most 70s horror film to ever exist. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And our dog is behind the couch. You're going to hear some ruffling around back there.
Yes. Hopefully she doesn't mess up the green screen too much.
If it does, listen, this has never been the highest production job that we've ever done. Yeah. We have always said this is the least professional horror review show on the internet, and that's saying something. So, you're all lucky I get the audio sounding correctly. So, today, previously, we talked about Rawhead Rex.
Previously on Jump Scare Reviews.
Yes, we talked about Rawhead Rex, where I struggled to think of things to say about that film for half an hour. But at the end of that, I said it does actually hold an important place in horror history because it led to a very important horror film later. And that gave me the idea to watch this film next because this film also introduced an element that would go on to create another horror staple. I'm not going to tell you what that is. I'm going to see if you can... Oh my god, the dog is poking her head back.
Yeah, I don't think you can see it on camera,
you can't.
but yeah.
But she is like right there. She's on the corner of my eye. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to see if you can figure it out on your own. And then at the end, I'll reveal it. Okay. So, The Devil's Rain. Man, what a weird film this is.
It's like, I've heard of the title, but I didn't realize it was rain as in R-A-I-N. Yeah. I thought it was R-E-I-G-N as in like the devil reigning over, like it's ruling over, but... There's
no way that isn't like a double entendre, like pun kind of thing. Like it had to have been on purpose. Because it sets up too well. But yeah, this film... I don't even know where to begin on this because I don't think this movie knew where to begin on it.
Like, it began with some guy who has a book and he has to, like, keep it guarded or something like that.
That some guy is William Shatner, by the way. Listen, I'm bad with remembering names, but even I was like, holy shit, why is William Shatner in this film? Why is anyone in this film? This is going to be one of those films that makes you just constantly go, what? Yeah, this thing opens up with William Shatner. He is in a house. He's dressed as a cowboy, and he is in a house somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. His mom and some old man is there. And by the way, the moment that he referred to her as his mom, what? Because I was like, you look almost exactly the same age. And then I had to look it up. She's 13 years older than him. Like, man, you can tell. That's one of those things where I don't know if it was just like the producers were like, we're not putting anybody too old into this, or I don't know if it was like William Shatner was just like, no, I'm not
that old.
Yeah, I honestly feel like this might have been like William Shatner just going like, well, here's the way he's going to play your mom. He's like, no, she's way too old. Like, I'm not that old. Listen, I'm sure William Shatner is a nice man, but I've heard stories. And this was one of those things where I had to look this up because I kept thinking to myself, why on earth would William Shatner be in some low-budget horror film like this? It felt so weird to me, and then I remembered, oh right, Star Trek did not become popular until like the 80s. Like, Star Trek originally came out, and it was considered widely to be like a semi-flop, like not a massive flop, but like it was one of those things where like it wasn't popular. It was something that just came out and like only a very small niche collection of people out there like really enjoyed it. It wasn't until like around the 80s that started to really blow up. So even if you were watching this in the 70s, you would be like, why is Captain Kirk in the whatever? All right, fine. But then the guy's dad shows up. William Shatner's father shows up, who is wearing a mask. But even through the mask, I'm just like, you still look almost the same age. It's so weird. It could be one of those things where when you are accustomed to seeing an actor at an older age, when you see them younger, you still imprint the older age onto them. I'm not with Jamie Kerns. Anytime that I see the original Halloween, I'm just like, why is this 50-year-old lady playing a teenager? It's like, oh no, she was an actual teenager back then. Oh yeah, right, I gotta remember. But yeah, so the father shows up and he's looking for the book, and you must deliver the book to Corbus. And then all of a sudden, his father just melts there into a puddle. And they start discussing what to do with the book. And then William Shatner goes outside to investigate something, then immediately comes back inside. And in the 2 seconds he was gone, the old man in there who was guarding the book got beat up, and the mom got kidnapped. And this is one of those moments where you can't watch this and not, like, think it's Captain Kirk up there. Because he literally screams out, Corbus! And both of us in the same moment, Con! It's the same yell. I was gonna really test the audio mic. Okay. So then he ends up going into this ghost town, and I will say, great setting.
Yeah.
Really dug the setting on this. Like, I had to wonder, was this one of those towns that, like, existed in the old days of Hollywood, where they would literally build a town for Westerns in the middle of nowhere? Or was this a town that just existed and now it's empty? It gave me that
was
feeling.
it an actual ghost town?
Yeah, exactly. But he goes there and he's met by Ernest Borgnine, which, okay, Captain Kirk was not popular at this point. I can understand William Shatner looking for work. I feel like Ernest Borgnine probably had more stuff to do. I feel like, man, I don't know, maybe he just did not have the paychecks that I thought he did back in the day, but I thought that dude was more popular than being this. Or maybe he read the script and he was really interested in it, because there's some stuff I found out about the making of this film that made it seem like this was far more aspirational.
More ambitious?
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Then it kind of like came off in the final product. But he meets Ernest Borgnine there, who is Corbus. And he's being this incredibly like charming, pleasant guy. But then you find out that he's Corbus. And you find out that he kidnapped the mom. And he is apparently like the head of a satanic church. And they need this book so that they can summon back out their Lord and Savior. Well, not Lord and Savior.
Not our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, their Lord and all-around party guy, Satan.
All-around best buddy. No.
I'm not part of the Church of Satan, so I don't really know the appeal. So my apologies. Although I might not be part of the Church of Satan, but you know who was? The guy who was the lead advisor on this film.
Oh, wow.
The lead advisor on this film, I cannot remember his name, but he was in the 70s the head of the Church of Satan. And I don't remember his name, but when I heard his name, I went, oh shit, that guy. Because I remember hearing about how in the 70s there was this big rise of Satanism in America. And this was the guy who was behind all that. And this movie got him to come in here and be like, okay, we need to make sure that all this depiction of, like, the satanic church is correct. And it's so weird to me that this dude would hear that. And he would come in and go, no, it needs to be more evil. Their faces need to melt more. And it's just like, why are you part of this church? If you know that if you're just like, man, if you know that your church is the subject of a horror film and you're going in there to make sure it's the right level of scary, at no point are you going to stop and think, maybe I picked the wrong side in this. Yeah, it's so wild to me. When I learned that, I just went, oh my God. And I will say, we've seen other films from that satanic panic era during the 70s. And that is a very interesting era of horror films, because so many of them were very grungy looks at, like, they're Satanists in America. They're chasing everyone down. They're in your backyards. It was really kind of like the next step of the the communist movement back in the 50s, where it's like, there might be communists in your own neighborhood right now. In the 70s, it was like, no, there's a bunch of people worshiping Satan, and they're getting your kids to sign up and join, and it's rock and roll and all this stuff. So there were a lot of films back in the 70s that were kind of lean into that, and we've seen many of them. This one feels so different from them. And I think it's because they had an actual, like, pro in there going like, no, I'm going to show you how this is all done. So yeah, because this, what I'm talking about, this is a great example of that. William Shatner tells Ernest Borgnine, and that is a weird way to start this sentence. William Shatner tells Ernest Borgnine that he needs his mother back, and he's not going to give him the book. And they are going, and so Ernest Borgnine says, all right, well, we'll make a deal. You come in that church there for one sermon. And if you walk out of that church without your faith being tested, yes, that's the word, then you can have the mother back. But if it's tested, then I get the book. And then he goes in there, And man, this William Shatner just chewing the hell out of this scenery. This is prime Shatner in here. He's not doing that thing, which I've never seen William Shatner actually do this, but that thing where he talks really slow and then goes incredibly fast. I've never actually seen him do that, but that's the joke everyone makes about him. No, William Shatner loves to just like grandstand, and he is grandstanding in these shots. He's talking about how my faith will not be tested. And so he goes in this church, and then he just sits there for like a sermon. And he's just sitting there, and he's just like rocking back and forth, like just praying to Jesus while they just do like a sermon. And man, I'm just looking at this thing like, this is not that, like, it doesn't feel like they're doing anything that crazy in here.
Like, it's not like they were, like, doing any, like, blood sacrifices or
nothing like that. It's literally just the Sunday service. Except that they're just praying to Satan instead of Jesus. And I was like, man, you could probably have withstood this. But yeah, he freaks out, he leaves, and then he starts getting chased down by all these cult members, and then he ends up getting captured. And then we smash cut to this is halfway through the film, by the way. And then we smash cut to a college where this professor and I guess he's like his assistant and the assistant's wife are doing tests on the wife to test her psychic powers. These are now the characters we're following for the rest of the film. I have to stress this, we're about halfway through the movie at this point, and they just changed protagonist, and it is so jarring.
That being said, like, the Satanic Panic and, like, psychics and everything, very 70s.
Very 70s. Yeah, I didn't even think about that until you just said, but psychics were everywhere in the 70s. That was one of those things where it's like, people just thought that, like, it was a combination of, like, psychedelic drugs, but also just like expanding philosophies at the time. Like, because this was a big, this was like right after the hippies movement of the 60s, and which now people were like, no, let's actually start like debating this stuff and actually like philosophizing about this stuff. And like that became more of a thing back in the 70s. Yeah, I didn't even think about that element, but no, this really is the most 70s horror film ever. But the assistant, or maybe he's another professor, I don't know. It's Tom Skerritt. Tom Skerritt, turns out he's William Shatner's brother. And he now finds out about what happened to William Shatner, so he and his wife have to go and find out about this. So they go to the ghost town and they start investigating. And they get there and they get like immediately attacked by some of the other cult members. And I point out John Travolta is in this film. This is like his very first role. He has no lines. He's just a guy who attacks Tom Skerritt when he goes into this place. That's it. I would not normally mention it, except it's John Travolta in his first role. It's very weird. So from there, her psychic powers start trying to like communicate with what's going on here. And they
like
start
she's trying to figure out what's going on and everything.
Exactly, yeah. And they start investigating this, and then the other professor comes in, he flies down, and he starts examining the book and reading all this stuff, and it leads to this big confrontation, and there's a whole bunch of, like, satanic imagery, like, they start investigating, like, the rituals that they're doing, including Ernest Borgnine actually becoming possessed by Satan, in a scene that is not as cool as that sentence implies it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, wow. You keep hearing, man, if I had told you Ernest Borgnine was about to be possessed by Satan, you would not expect his persona to suddenly come out. Because there's like a puff of smoke, and it's still Ernest Borgnine.
Well, like he has sheep horns.
Yeah,
like...
he's got like the ram horns, and he's got like the little like ram like fur almost on him. Like his hair's a little bit messed up, and like they did like I think they did something with his nose. I'm having trouble remembering it now at this point. But yeah, it's literally just like, oh, so Ernest Borgnine's a furry. Okay, all right, hey, man, no judgment. Yeah, you do what you, man. That's cool. I don't think you need to start a cult around it, but hey, that's fine. Yeah, and they start like doing like sacrifices on like William Shatner's character, and all the people who get possessed, they have like black eyes, and they're not contact lenses.
No,
they made actual like mask of their faces with black eyes, And man, it's weird. It is very weird looking at all these people wearing masks of their own faces. I should also point this out. This is one thing that I want to bring up. When we were talking about his mom, and she's only 13 years older than him, there's a moment in which William Shatner is being tested. He's up there, like, you know, on, like, the big sacrifice thing, and he's being tested, and Ernest Borgnine brings out Lilith, the Tempter, which that's one of those things that I feel like they definitely got, like, the actual, like, I don't know much about the Church of Satan, but I do know that they have a different view on Lilith than Christianity does. Like, they're more like, nah, Lilith is great. We all love Lilith. So they bring out Lilith to tempt him, and she goes in for a kiss, and then when she comes back, it's his mom. And I remember looking at that, and I thought it was his mom from the start, and it just goes to show they needed to pick someone older to be William Shatner's mom. They should not pick someone 13 years older than him. Yeah. So. Oh, wait, was it actually? No, it was someone different. Okay, yes. Man, I just realized I need to double check that. But yeah, so this all leads into some big confrontation between them at the very end. And I won't say exactly what happens, but the finale of this movie, man, you can tell they had some time to fill. The finale of this film, like, we were checking our watches like, is it still going right now? And man, it's a cool scene.
Yes.
It's a cool scene.
But it drags on way too long.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool scene. And that cool scene ends at, like, the 3-minute mark, and then it keeps going for another 3 after that. Man. And then the ending is just kind of like, what the fuck just happened there? Yeah, the ending is very, what? This film is interesting.
Yes.
But I honestly think it's more interesting to talk about and think about than to actually watch. I'm trying to think of things that I liked about the film. And
well, we mentioned the effects are pretty good.
The effects are pretty decent, especially there at the end. And also, like I said, we've seen a lot of other satanic panic horror films from the 70s. This one feels different, and I do think it is that personal touch that they put in there. There isn't another film out there like this. I will definitely say that. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm glad I watched it. But would I recommend it to people? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's another C, like kind of like Ryan Rex yesterday.
Yeah, it's another one. It's like maybe we'll recommend it. It depends on like what you're into, basically.
If you're curious, go for it. But I don't think anybody's walking away with this as their new favorite. Yeah, so it's fine. But okay. Now, before we go any further into the actual like
spoiler stuff,
part, do you have a guess at what horror icon this film helped to lead into? I will admit it is not like a real easy one. It is like a horror trivia thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm not that well versed in horror like you are, so
I'll give you a hint. I already mentioned it in this review.
What, do you mean Pinhead or Hellraiser?
No, that was the one yesterday that we were talking about. Yeah.
My mind is
blanking. I understand. Yes. Yeah. There's so many things going on right now. It's Halloween.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is, like we said, every single person.
Oh, is that why there's a William Shatner mask?
Yep. Yes. What happened in here is everybody had to get masks made of their own faces with the black eyes in there. Mm-hmm. And then when it came time to make a Captain Kirk mask, they were like, oh, hey, we already have this William Shatner mask laying around from this. Just make copies of that to be the William Shatner mask. And then that William Shatner mask got turned into the Michael Myers mask. So that is what is so interesting about this. And there is a moment in here in which William Shatner, possessed and now part of the satanic cult, he actually grabs the wife, who is Jewel? Yes. No. Wait. Julie. That was it. Yes. Yes. He grabs Julie, and he's got her against the wall, and the camera looks at him, and he literally, with the black eyes, blackest eyes, yeah. With the blackest eyes, he literally does this. He does the Michael Myers head tilt, and it is so weird because it is literally the Michael Myers mask, except it's just not white. And he's literally doing he's got the black eyes, and he's doing the Michael Myers head twist. I was like, that is so, it literally, you could just put Halloween music underneath this, it'd be the exact same thing. It is so weird because it looks exactly like Michael Myers in that scene. So this led to why Michael Myers has William Shatner's mask. It's so odd. That is one of those weird little trivia facts for everybody out there. So how this film ends is that at the end of this, they all go into the big church in there, and they're trying to get the brother free and the mother free and everything.
But then there's like the secret passage.
There's like a secret passage in there and everything. But they also have the book. And with the book, they're going to be able to bring about Satan and everything. However, there's been an element that we haven't really talked about yet.
Yeah.
Which is there's just a giant vase. And the vase is filled with people screaming because it's loaded with souls. And the vase is referred to as the Devil's Rain. And
when you look inside, like people screaming while it's raining.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's a bit of a stretch.
It's a very interesting effect though, because they literally just like built a mini TV to put inside.
They just took like a TV and like built a vase around it.
And they like just like kind of like stretched the glass a little so that's more of a circular shape to go inside the vase. But it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, that is haunted house levels of ingenuity. Yeah. Where it's like, if you had to build your own haunted house, and I had to think of something creepy, and there's like, all right, just get a bunch of people screaming, and I'll put like I'll just like record that, and I'll put it on a little mini TV, and then I'll put that mini TV inside of something, and I'll put like a filter of like rain or something on top of it. Like, it feels like a prop that a homemade haunted house would make. Mm-hmm. And I find that very interesting. Like, I'm kind of like, listen, I have a soft spot in my heart for filmmakers who are just like, fuck it, man, I don't know. Let's just get creative. Just use what we have there to make something. So I kind of like that. But at the end of it, they confront Corbus and they're like, release this man and release the book, or else I'll destroy the Devil's Rain. And it's one of those things where it's like, you should probably do that anyway, man. I don't think Corbus should have the Devil's Rain to begin with. But then he throws the Devil's Rain down. Or no, he doesn't. William Shatner gets a hold of it.
Yeah.
And I do kind of like this, that William Shatner gets a hold of it. And there's a big speech that the professor gives him about how this is your last chance. If you don't do it now, you'll be trapped forever. You'll never get another moment to make yourself free. And it's like, I will admit, that's kind of a tense moment. I kind of got into the film in that scene. Like, that's actually not bad. And then William Shatner breaks it. And then it just starts raining. And all the members of the cult melt. Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty cool scene. And then it keeps going and going. And like, it goes to that point where you think, man, this has been going on for a while. And you're only halfway through it. It is so long. That, and also the opening of this film is like focusing on satanic paintings with the sounds of those people screaming over it. And that also goes on forever. And this film, like, I'm going through my head right now, like, how much stuff really happened in this movie? It is a short film. This is a very short movie, and you can find the two spots in here where they padded the crap out of it. Where they just really like, we gotta get this up to full runtime. Just stretch it all out. But at the end of this film, they rescue Julie. Tom Skerritt, who is also, I forgot, his name is Tom in the film. But so Tom rescues Julie. They go out, they're hugging there, and they're like spinning around in the rain as they're hugging. And as they spin around, Julie turns into Ernest Borgnine, and then it like shows Julie's soul trapped within the Devil's Rain, which raises questions because didn't they destroy that? But yeah, they
had a backup.
I guess. Always come prepared. Man, my voice cracked on that one. So remember how Julie was psychic and she was trying to get into the mind of Ernest Borgnine's character, into the mind of Corbus? Apparently he hijacked her body and like just he went in there. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing like at the very end, as the rain was coming down, Corbus like swapped places so she melted in there or something. Like that's all I can think. Yeah. That's another kind of a shutout out for humanity in that one. That's another staple of a lot of those satanic panic horror films. None of them really had good endings. Pretty much all of them were just like, yeah, real shutout out for evil. Yeah. So enjoy your popcorn. Go home, everybody. Which I understand why. It's because the satanic panic horror films were meant to make you panic. So yeah, good often did not triumph in the end of those. So yeah, it's an interesting ending. That's really all I have to say about this entire film. It's interesting. It is very interesting. Anything else you want to add about this?
Not really. Just
yeah, it's such an odd film. I wish I knew like where the inspiration for this came from, because it's one of those films that really feels like it was based on a book or something, but I don't think it was. It feels like they just want to make a satanic panic film, but like
maybe it was inspired by like other movies or books or something like that,
or like I think it was probably just inspired by like news stories from back in the 70s, just like everybody was talking about this stuff. But I don't know, man. This feels so. Honestly, if you just stuck with like one character, or like if there wasn't the psychic element thrown in there, I think this film would be like way better. But it's that psychic element that I'm just like, there's no point to this other than at the very end of this to have that twist of Corvus takes her over. But it's like, man, Corvus already kidnapped her. Like, you didn't need her to have psychic powers for him to like possess her or something. Like, I don't know. This is so odd.
If he didn't possess the psychic girl, then maybe he would have possessed Shatner's mom instead. Like,
oh, she's already gone.
Didn't they like kidnap her? Or,
yeah. But like I think, but by the time they found her, she was already done for.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't know, like, here's the thing, it's not even the possession that's weirded me out. It's like, no, man, you, like, took her in there. You could say you did, like, a ritual or something to, like, swap bodies with her or something in there. It's like, the psychic element is just so, this is something everyone was talking about in the 70s. And it's just very bizarre to me. Yeah, I don't know, it's a weird film. It's weird. But I kind of like that it exists. Mm-hmm. I like that there's something this weird out there. I can't fully recommend it to anybody, but you know what? It's an oddity. That's the perfect word. It's an oddity. If I was to run like the horror movie, I don't want to say freak show, but you know what I'm talking about, sideshow attraction, and I was the carnival barker out there, like, come see the amazing. This will be one of the things in there. This will be one of the things in there where it's like, is it good? No, but man, it's weird. It's gonna get you talking. Man.
Come see the amazing Devil's Reign, and it's just Ernest Borgnine in his goat.
His goat ears, yes. Oh, that's perfect. That's so good, yeah. You know what? Honestly, I'll say this. This is a positive I have to give this film. This is a weird-ass role for Ernest Borgnine to take. Dude's acting his ass off. Dude, like, that dude never showed up for a paycheck. That dude showed up to work at no matter what he was on. Yeah, I genuinely am surprised at like how much work he put into that. Even when they put the lame ass goat horns on him, dude was still trying. I gotta give him points on that. But yeah, so that's it for Devil's Reign. Like I said, we're talking about just a bunch of like weird films right now, and this is one I didn't even have planned. We were just cruising through Amazon Prime and saw this on there. I was like, what the hell is this? So we decided to watch it. We're moving into the territory of H.P. Lovecraft next time. We're going to be talking about the Dunwich Horror. Oh, there's two of them, by the way. We're talking about the one from...
The 70s.
1970, exactly, yes. So come back next time for that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.